You know, when something doesn't sit right, you know what I mean? It starts getting you a little hot under the collar. Some people get ring around the collar. Some people wear their belt as a collar, a la Meghan Markle, with Love Meghan. Well, when she came out and she's like, oh my God, oh my God, you stupid bitch. I am Sussex now. Oh my God. I was like, you know what? What a bizarre thing to do. What a bizarre thing to say. And then I started doing a little research. Guess what? You know how devious, you know how dastardly, you know what a scallywag Meghan Markle is for doing that to the person that she did it. Of all the people she could have done it right on the first episode with the, you know, dastardly Daniel, the makeup magician Daniel, who can't cut a who has no idea how to cut a vegetable. The guy almost put himself in the hospital in the first 7 minutes of the show. Anyways, why did she drop that shit on him, right? By the way, who has coffee and then crudité, okay? You want some vegetables with your coffee? Has anybody ever said, yeah, you know what sounds good with my coffee? A plate of vegetables. That's what I'd like. Anyways, I'm gonna show you something, and I'm gonna tell you something else, all right? There's also a very weird reason. There's such deep connections between Meghan Markle and Mindy Kaling, and how Meghan Markle, in my opinion, used a lot of things against Mindy Kaling to do this whole situation, and this is why she chose Mindy Kaling to make her stupid announcement about, oh my God, I'm Sussex, I can't believe you're still saying that. Why would, the whole thing doesn't make any sense, but I'm going to break it down to you, and I'm going to show you exactly why this yacht did this. All right, let's get into this.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You gotta know how to pony. Pony, mashed potato. Do the alligator. Put your hands on your hips. Yeah. Let the backbone slip. Do the what you say. Like me and Lucy. Oh. Na 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 na. Somebody help me.
Oh my God, I can't.
Just swallowed a fucking mouthful of bandages. Fucking shit.
All right, what's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? Folks, how you feeling? Everything going all right? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being part of the show. Who loves you, baby? Listen, don't forget, comment, like, subscribe, share, do all that good jazz. Got a Patreon account. Oh, hit your notification bell too, please. Also, I got a Patreon account. It's got over 200 videos. Go check it out. You can sign up for free, preview it for free, do all that good stuff. Let's get into this. So, I'm probably going to lose it today, all right? Just letting you, I'm giving you a heads up. So, Meghan Markle, that video came out. Episode due for hairdo. Episode 2 comes out, and she has Mindy Kaling on. She drops this whole thing where they have this line. Let's get into this whole deal right here.
I don't think anyone in the world knows that Meghan Markle has eaten Jack in the Box and loves it.
It's so funny, too, that you keep saying, Meghan Markle, you know I'm Sussex now. You have kids, and you go, no, I share my name with...
Now, first of all, there has to be an editing thing here. And not only that, like, if you guys haven't seen the video, the whole premise of this whole thing, okay? First of all, Meghan Markle, with Love Meghan, only means one thing. Meghan loves Meghan. That's it. The whole premise of this dumb show, this part 2, okay? I haven't seen the whole thing. But the whole premise of this part 2 is Meghan invites Mindy Kaling over to teach her how to throw a party for her children, okay? Now, just rewind a little bit. Every time, and we've done videos on lately, we've seen Mindy Kaling at, different red carpet events, whatnot, all these other, premieres, everything like that. Nobody really knows what she's working on. However, everybody seems to ask her, hey, how was it working with Meghan? We heard you went and ate at her house or part of her show or whatever. And Mindy's response was very, it was innocuous. It was like, I was 2 months out of my last pregnancy. She called me up. She asked me if I, wanted to come over and be part of her show. The cooking's always good. Now, here's a weird part, okay? I don't know if Mindy Kaling is just a really nice person who's kind of naive and not part of the cool girl crowd. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe she's a little bit of a more of a introvert. Maybe she's just really funny, but really, really private. Okay. And she probably, is just a nice person down to earth. I don't know. Okay. I'm just guessing here. Okay. Based on what I've learned in doing this research. All right. So she just says, she invited me over. It was, the cooking's always good. Now, I don't know how she would know that, considering that these two don't seem like they have had one interaction other than the fact that Meghan Markle invited Mindy Kaling on her podcast. Now, let me show you this. So my point is, Mindy says, I bet nobody would believe that Meghan Markle is eating Jack in the Box, which really doesn't make any sense either, because Meghan Markle just dropped that she ate a Pollo Loco and then Taco Bell. Well, Taco Bell and Jack in the Box and Del Taco and McDonald's and Carl's Jr. or whatever the hell else you got is kind of in the same, realm. Okay, it's, you know what I mean? It's just cheap fast food, or it was at one point in time, not now, but
You go, no, I share my name.
And then she breaks into this whole speech, right? So this is shitty. This is editing, my opinion, because there's no response from Mindy Kaling. She doesn't go, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, when did you change your name? Or whatever the deal is, right? Because, bitch, nobody knew this. My point is this. If this was your so-called alleged friend or an acquaintance or even somebody that you gave a rat's ass about, you would be like, hey, before the show started, hey, listen, I'm calling myself a different name now, just giving you a heads up, okay? Because Mindy Kaling keeps saying Meghan Markle, Meghan Markle. Now this also gives her a soapbox to present her I'm Sussex now case, which, based on my research, is really stupid. Because she could have done that as soon as they got married, but didn't choose to do that. So technically, this bitch has had 7 years to do that, and all of a sudden she does it. Nobody knows about it, yet somehow Mindy Kaling, who's got jack shit to do with her, other than the fact that they were on a podcast together, and her husband Prince Harry and Mindy Kaling seem to do events at Better Up together. Or occasionally. How the hell would Mindy Kaling know this? But she wanted to have this moment, and she knew that she could get away with this bullshit with Mindy Kaling, and I'm going to get to that.
You have kids and you go, no, I share my name with my children.
Yes.
And that feels so, I didn't know how meaningful it would be to me, but it just means so much to go.
It took this bitch 7 years to figure out that it would be meaningful to her. Now, let me ask you this. If it wasn't a royal title to it, would it be meaningful? Would it be meaningful to be Meghan Henry? Would that be meaningful to this yacht? No.
So this is our family name.
Oh, now she just figured this shit out. All right, let's get into this. Now, also, so get this straight. So Meghan Markle, this whole premise of this episode, right, is because she's gonna teach Mindy Kaling how to put on a kids party. Okay? Even in the beginning of this episode, Meghan says, I met Mindy on my podcast, which I'm going to show you in 2 seconds. So they really don't have to seem anything else in common together. Now, the question is this. When did Meghan Markle become Miss Kids Party Planner? And is that what she's doing now? Is that her big claim to fame? The other thing is this. She's talking to Mindy, and Mindy's like, yeah, I have a lady that does this for me. Like, I don't need, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing this crap that you're talking about. I hire a person. Now, it gets way deeper than this, okay? Way deeper. And I'm going to tell you how Meghan is extremely jealous of Mindy, and not only that, appears to steal what Mindy originally said from the podcast and then uses it in front of her.
What kids love. Peanut butter jelly, cream cheese, and sliced cube.
Here's the other thing. So she's sitting here going, what kids love, peanut butter and jelly. This bitch don't even know. This one is supposedly talking like she's throwing parties for little Archie and little Betty. Meanwhile, The one photo that they pop up where she's talking about balloons and blowing up balloons is from their documentary. That's the one photo that she can pop up because there was some balloons blown up and she's like, it was, you know what, blowing up a lot of balloons, it's really rough. So I got this little machine, it's $20, it helps me blow up the balloon. Like, this is what this yacht is talking about, okay?
Would your kids do that?
Yeah.
Great. You can do like a
Oh, let me kick you this too, okay? So, also, before any of this got popped off, Meghan had a what's it called? A frittata cooking, okay? Before Mindy gets there. As soon as Mindy gets there, by the way, Meghan is so stiff. I mean, it's just like petrified wood. It's like scared, petrified wood. It's like, put it this way. If a AI robot, came down from an alien spaceship, pretended to be petrified, scared wood that was pretending to be a human being, it would still be more natural than what the shiesty is here without a little mommy juice. So prior to this, she whips out the champagne and, you know, some sort of, you know, citrus, you know, orange juice or whatever the hell. And Mindy's like, this is the earliest I've had a drink in a long time. And Meghan's big retort was, well, welcome to Montecito. And if you look, I have a clip of her watch at the time. Now, I don't know if it's correct or not, but it said 10:45 in the morning. So this yacht is filming a show, and at 10:45 in the morning needs to have booze to try to seem somewhat relatable of a human being. And then, you know, Mindy seems uptight. She seems uptight. The whole thing is very bizarre in the beginning. And she's coming across as a real a-hole. And Mindy's a real, like, down-to-earth, kind of just, like, funny, you know, easygoing kind of gal. You know what I mean? All the talking is done by Meghan. Everything is about Meghan. You know what else Meghan brings up in this stupid episode? It is pathetic. This woman brings up her school where she learned how to plant and that her teacher, I think this is her grade school she's talking about. The Red House, whatever the hell, that she just recently learned one of her teachers died and she didn't get a chance to go to the funeral or some shit because he taught her about comp. I'm like, what world do you live in? You're keeping track of your grade school teachers? And then she drops in the fact that, you know, she drops in her Sacred Heart thing. She drops in Suits. She drops in merch, okay? And I'm thinking in my head, like, how do these two seem to not know each other whatsoever? It is the bizarrest interaction. But as soon as, you know, here's the cocktail right here. As soon as they get they've been drinking all day. And then once Meghan goes to go, you know, blow up the balloons because they got to cut away from that whole thing. If you look at Mindy's watch at that time, now, here's the thing, too. I don't know if these watches are on the correct time. I don't know if, you know, sometimes people just have fancy watches that, you know, aren't set. The batteries are dead, whatever, you know, shit happened. But Mindy's time said like 3:15 in the afternoon. So from 10:45 in the morning to 3:15, they're barely getting this whole shindig going. I don't know if they got to keep rearranging the lights or the outfits or whatever the hell.
Okay, so let's do some thin slices of cucumber.
By the way, also in the comments, because I was like, what's this cream cheese sandwich thing? This is a big thing over in the UK. Okay, it's not in America. It's a big thing in the UK. This is all about her, the Sussex thing. The food is UK. You know, this is a woman. I thought she didn't like the cuisine in the UK. All of a sudden now she can't stop making stuff that's in the UK. Now, listen to this, because this yacht stole it from Mindy, because Mindy said this originally.
I was a latchkey kid, so I grew up with a lot of fast food and also a lot of TV tray dinners. It feels like such a different time, but that was so normal with the mic.
And by the way, here's the other thing too. I have never seen somebody live in the past so much in my life. The lady's got Suits, her school that she went to, and the TIG. That's all that this woman talks about. That's it. That's some sad shit.
Microwavable kids' meals that had compartmentalized.
And this yacht is explaining a Hungry Man dinner, which, by the way, like, there's still these meals. This is not like some antique, you know what I mean, at the road show or something. They still sell plenty of meals like that, lean cuisines or you name it, whatever. Healthy Choice, any of these things, they are compartmentalized. I mean, it's asinine, the conversation that Meghan's having.
Do you remember the child?
And here's the other thing. You're going to watch. When I get to the other part, you're going to realize why this is the way it is. Meghan can't stand Mindy. Mindy is everything that Meghan wished she was.
I don't think anyone in the world knows that Meghan Markle has eaten Jack in the Box.
Okay, now watch this. This is the part that they don't show you because, it cuts right to Meghan pontificating. It doesn't cut to what Mindy says afterward.
It just means so much to go.
She didn't know how meaningful it would be. But now that she wants to, soak a different brand and really, lean into the whole royal thing and really milk that for everything it's worth. By the way, could this woman be any whiter? I mean, seriously, look at you got a bruise on your arm here, Sugar Bear. Look how white this woman is. She's whiter than the outfit that she's wearing. Look how pale this woman is. Somehow you're supposed to believe that this is a 43%, Nigerian somehow? Really? Really? By the way, where's that DNA test?
Family name, our little family name.
Well, now I know, and I love it.
See, okay, that's the point. Now watch this. So Mindy, being the nice person that she is, was like, oh, well, now I know. I love it. I guarantee you, all right, my opinion is when Meghan said, I'm Sussex now, Mindy probably said, oh, I didn't know, or when did you do that, or whatever. Because Mindy's pretty upfront, pretty forward. She talks a lot of shit. She's a comedic writer. She's witty. She's sharp. Now, let me get to this, okay? So, and then all this bullshit that's out right now about Meghan Markle is saying she's a latchkey kid. Oh my God. And I could go on and on. Even, my grandbabies, even he had to come out and defend the fact his you know what I mean? This 80-year-old man, right? Who got away from the drama, went, to another country to get away from the drama, had to weigh in. Because Meghan said she was a latchkey kid. No offense, folks. At some point in time, I don't care if your family has a lot of money or whatever. At some point in time, one of your parents, when you get 12 or 13 or 14 or 15 or whatever the hell it is, at some point in time, one of your parents are not going to be home. And you're going to have to be a little smart person and go home and behave yourself and let yourself in the damn door. Okay? This isn't... Andy Griffith, where, the mom's sitting there, oh, hey, I got, just made some cookies for you guys or whatever. You want sandwiches? I mean, what? It's ridiculous. Especially nowadays with everybody's, every parent's got to have 5 jobs. Do you know what I mean? Every kid, I would assume the majority of kids at some point in time have been latchkey kids, acting like this is something, like I had to go home and sit in a tiger cage with, 2 live tigers. That would be something. Being a latchkey kid is nothing. Now, let's get to this, okay? Now, here's another thing too. Let's clear this up. So let me tell you this. Mindy is successful. Mindy's a successful actress, successful shows. While Meghan was doing her 34 seconds on Suits per episode, the Mindy had the Mindy Project for 8 years, okay? Or she was on The Office for 8 years, or had the Mindy Project for 8 years, or whatever the hell it is. Mindy has work coming out of her wazooey, okay? Not only that, folks, here's a little bit of a weirdness for you. Mindy Kaling also has the #1 show on Netflix right now, a TV show that also happened to coincide with being at the same time that Meghan Markle's show was launched with Love Meghan. Running Point with Kate Hudson was co-written by Mindy Kaling. Mindy Kaling has worked for Netflix, writing and whatever, since 2019. Show after show after show. Plus, she does all this voiceover work, all this other stuff. Her dance card is stacked, okay? And as far as the success goes in Hollywood, Mindy Kaling is way more successful. It's not even freaking close, okay? Now, Mindy Kaling did not have to pretend she was some sex kitten, did not have to ask for favors, did not have to marry anybody, did not have to do anything. By the way, she was heavy set, glasses, and she was Indian. okay? She did it all on her own, all right? Based on her own hard work and her own skills and her own funny and her own talent and her own ability. On the other flip side of that, Meghan Markle, the only place that she's ever gotten was the FedEx girl, the girl on 90210, the briefcase opener. On all of these shows seem to have some sort of, I have a connection, I'm monkey branching, I'm, some social climber, I've got to get married to a producer to get this show, so on and so forth. My uncle Mike, who works for the government, got me the job in internship in Buenos Aires, etc., etc. Okay? Meanwhile, Mindy Kaling does all this stuff on her own. Now, why do I say that? I say that because when Mindy Kaling was invited to go on, did I tell you about Better Up? Because in March of 2021, H became the chief impact officer of Better Up. Also in March of 21, Mindy Kaling started working and doing, events or contracted or whatever for Better Up. So I'm assuming between the Netflix, this is my opinion, between the Netflix or the Better Up connection, most likely the Netflix, that's how they got her to be a guest. Now, if you listen to this podcast called The Stigma of the Singleton with Mindy Kaling, Meghan Markle fawns all over Mindy Kaling. Like, she is so blown away. She's so impressed because Mindy Kaling has done everything Meghan Markle wished she could. She's successful in Hollywood. She's been a writer. She's been a director. She's been an actress. All of them were, I don't know about director, but I think so. All of them successes, huge successes. She's legitimately dollar for dollar. I'm not talking about NGOs and, all this other bullshit, somebody slipping somebody some alleged cash. Dollar for dollar, she blows H and Scheissmeist, anything that they've ever done, out of the water. I guarantee it. She is a successful, independent woman, which is everything Meghan Markle has pontificated about and tried and wanted to be her whole life. Now listen to this. This is Meghan talking about Mindy coming on the show, and you're not going to believe the other things that are coincidences with this, okay? Listen to this.
While the characters Mindy's written for and played have gotten married then divorced, sometimes married again, in real life, Mindy's never been married. And at the moment, she doesn't have a partner. She did decide, though, to start a family on her own. So far, she has 2 kids. Her daughter, Kit, who she had...
First of all, right there, her daughter, Kit. This insecure, done nothing, do nothing, can't even say the name Catherine. Her daughter's name, Mindy's daughter's name, is Catherine. Kit is her nickname. That's how emotionally crippled Meghan Markle is. She can't even say the name Catherine, okay? It's a pretty common name. No offense.
2017 and her son Spencer in 2020.
By the way, that's another weird twist. Mindy has a daughter named Catherine, a son named Spencer, and another child named Anne, okay? That's a weird coincidence.
And, Mindy's a really private person. And despite pressure from the public and the media, she's...
Pressure from the public and the media. Who's trying to, who loves that?
Worked especially hard to maintain that privacy around her kids, ignoring all the speculation around details of their lives and even of their conception.
What a weird twist. The details of their conception. She doesn't disclose everything. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not disclosing everything because, maybe mine is totally, maybe, there was some moon bumps or allegedly, think it was surrogate. Anyways.
Which, by the way, how is that anyone's business? Look, when I see Mindy, what I see is a woman who goes after exactly what she wants, even if she jokingly concedes to being archetyped as the spinster, the perpetually single woman, or in her own words, the old maid.
Now, let me pause this and I'm going to fast forward and I'm going to get to something else. All right, listen to this. Let me ask you, does this sound familiar to you folks?
actually pretty funny because it turns out Mindy didn't really grow up watching much TV.
You know, I was that typical latchkey kid because my parents
Me too.
both worked.
Okay, I was the typical latchkey kid. Mindy says it right off the bat. Of course, Shiesty, who is a chameleon and tries to replicate, or like an alien, tries to replicate anybody that they're around. Yeah, me too. Okay? Meanwhile, this was September 6, 2022. Nobody said shit that Meghan said this on her own show, on her own podcast, and this was when people were actually paying attention to it. Not a word. Not word one. I have my grandbabies. He didn't come forward to defend that. Not word one. All of a sudden, he needs to come forward and say something. And I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm just saying it's interesting that that's the word he needs to come out and defend at 80 years old, thinking of the fact that he hasn't talked to him since 2017. Are you going to defend every, a wackaloon thing that this apparent, even he said she's inauthentic. Well, if you're saying that your daughter's inauthentic, I'm sure she's going to say some inauthentic things that you can't white knight and go defend. And what are you defending it against? And against who? And for what? Your honor, your legend, your legacy. Now listen to this. How she loves, she didn't have a television set, or her parents didn't allow her to watch television, and so they would read. And so now we go into this, okay? And then, of course, Meghan's got to tell them what she liked to read.
Spy. I was alone so much as a child, right? And also a latchkey kid. And I would think...
Again, I'm a latchkey kid. 2022, September 6th. Nobody said a frickin' word.
Gosh, I read a lot of Archie comic books. Ironically,
Me
that is
too.
not, my son is not named after Archie comic books, but I loved them.
She even goes on, she fawns all over Mindy in this episode. And Mindy, feels, I don't know. She drops her guard. I'm not saying drops her guard, but she just is authentic. She's real. And she's like, you know what? I haven't met the right guy, but I still wanted to have kids, et cetera, you know what I mean? And she just goes in, she's just real. She just sounds real. Now, I don't know everything about Mindy Kaling, and I'm just telling you based on this interview. But my point is this. She represents every single thing that Meghan Markle talks about, wants to do, but can't do. Because she needs H. She needs Trevor, or she needs somebody who can help her attain one of her goals. Because it's sure as shit she can't do it on her own. Okay? And if those titles were gone, it would all be gone. Nobody would give a shit. The other thing is this. She knows that Mindy has some insecurities because she's admitted them herself, and knows that she's a pretty agreeable person, and knows that of all the guests that she probably had picked out on her show, right? She's not going to tell Roy Choi, I'm Sussex now. How the hell's he going to know? They're not friends. But she picked Mindy because supposedly it seems like they're buds. They're not. As a matter of fact, they're talking about planning the whole episode is based around setting up a children's party. Meanwhile, their children have never even met each other, okay? All of these big parties and children's parties that Meghan's allegedly throwing and putting on, and gift baskets and all this bullshit. Was Mindy invited to those? To bring her children, her 3 children? No. So Mindy's just trying to be like a cool person, down to earth, friendly, whatever. Maybe she thinks, Meghan might actually be a nice person. Or maybe she just gives people the benefit of the doubt. Or maybe she's just got a big warm heart. I don't know. But my point is this. Meghan used all of that shit in her benefit. And I guarantee you, well, I can't guarantee you, but allegedly, in my opinion, it looks like that show was edited exactly to make this gotcha moment or whatever, where Meghan can pontificate the fact that she's now known as Sussex. And everybody, she's got to make that now. And the real point of the matter is, bitch, you could have been Sussex since you got married. And you've already had, allegedly, 2 other kids. One is 3 years old. So it's taken you 7 years to figure out you actually now want to be have the family name. It's all bullshit. And she used Mindy to push that agenda. All right? Thanks for listening. If you lasted this long, Who loves you, baby? Let me know your thoughts, your comments. Hope you guys are all doing great, and I'll catch you in the next.
Who loves you, baby? You're beautiful.